so pissed off. And you're lucky this isn't my native language. Because if it were, I feel like wanting to empty a whole bucket full of the most vulgar swear words onto whomever. That's why you haven't heard from me for quite a while. I said to myself, Britta, stop it. Why are you bothering? And you can imagine, it was the attack on Israel that I'm missing the words, even trying to explain to you what happened. I'm missing the words. I was just so disappointed about the human race. The human species is such a disappointment. And it doesn't matter who attacks whom, and it doesn't matter whose side you're on, because we're giving these enormous problems, pains, through generations, from one generation to the next, and it really doesn't matter where and when. These days, my friends and I from my generation, we have exchanged our remembrance from when we were young. Quite a few of my friends never ever met their fathers who didn't come back from the war. A friend of mine has told me about his mother who had 4 brothers, none of whom came back from the war. Now, what does that mean? Things like that in every German and every European family, stories like that. What does that do to us? The mourning, the traumas we're passing on from one generation to the next. And the hate we're passing on from one generation to the next. Small children, never even yet having met somebody from the supposed other side, hates them. Grown-up people instill that into the next generations. Don't we ever learn, we human beings? And then after quite a while of my silence, some of my friends said, no, Britta, you've got to go on. You have to go on trying to make a difference. I don't know whether it's worth it. I really don't. Usually at this point, I would make a suggestion. I'm trying to think together with you of a solution to the problem. I even have 2 suggestions to make here out of this enormous disappointment about human beings. Don't misunderstand me, because I open my daily newspaper, the first, say, 8 or 10 pages, you name it, the conflicts around the world, say, just as I remember, Russia, Serbia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, China, Northern Korea, Yemen, Burkina Faso, hardly know where it is, killing each other, etc. I could go on and you know it. What a mishappen invention a human being is. What the hell are we doing of our abilities? The ability to think. What do we make of that ability? Okay, now come my 2 suggestions. First, the United Nations should have some rules for wars. I suppose they have some rules, but here's my most important rule. I give you an example so that you understand what I mean. Say somebody like Putin feels like attacking the neighbors. The president, the person, the admiral, the general, whatever, the president, whatever he may be called, has to be in the first row of the attackers. You remember Napoleon on all those pictures we know? He always first on the white horse in front of his troops. We should go back to that. Do you think Putin would have started the war on Ukraine, say, if he had to be first in the rows of those to be killed, and I would suggest not only he, his children too, because he sends the young men and women of his compatriots, he sends into certain death. That should be forbidden. And therefore he would have to be first. And then I think he'd think twice about it. And he's only just an example. That's the same for all the dictators around the world. And my second suggestion, a very young friend of mine told me, I thought that was fascinating. I'd never heard about it. The idea is that we, human beings, voluntarily work on our extinction. I think that's brilliant and simple too. Supposing we all stopped procreating from today onwards, stopped having babies, children, then within, say, 100 and a few years, we would very quietly have died out. And I'm sure every single plant on this planet, every single animal, any single atom on this planet would open a bottle of champagne, having get rid of us. If you have any better suggestion, do let me know. See you.